We're in the season of Lent. It's 40 days. It starts on Ash Wednesday, and it relates back to an important time in Jesus' life, of course. He's just had the high point of his life till then. He's been baptized in the River Jordan by John. He feels God very close. And then he has 40 days in the wilderness. And so we, leading up, of course, to Holy Week and Easter, have our 40 days of Lent. And it's a time of reflection. There are very few good things about the present crisis, but now that we're self-distancing and many self-isolating, it might give us more time to reflect on what are the important things of life. In what way have our modern world slightly lost the plot, which we all know is the truth? I was talking with Nicola not so long ago, and we talked about what gifts would we like to have given our children as they grew up. And we both decided one of them was the ability to reflect. If you don't reflect, you never learn. You just go on and on throughout the whole of life, making the same mistakes. It's a bit like someone who's been married 5 times, and each time, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, they tell you how much it's all the other person's fault. And that person did this wrong, and this person did that wrong. No reflection. Maybe after 5 relationships or marriages going wrong, maybe I'm also part of this issue. And how can I change? So reflection is learning to be honest with God. And it's not easy. My favourite writer, St. Paul's, again in Romans, in chapter 7, he says, I know what God wants me to do, the good I need to do, but I'm also so stupid because I often do the stuff I'm not meant to be doing. How human is that? And surely every one of us can relate to that. So I can be very impatient, I can be gossipy, I can be angry, I can be snappy, all sorts of things I can be that I know is not really what God wants me to be, but they sort of pop out. But I know also God has given me another side, a God-given side, where I can be loving and kind and compassionate and even patient, though it comes very hard. And so Lent to me should be a time of trying to focus on that truth and trying to ask God to help me to lessen the difficult bits and help me to grow. The word would be holiness. I know that's a very holy word, but we are called to grow in goodness. And I just want to end this thought with a beautiful passage, again from Paul, but you will be pleased to know this time not Romans, in his letter to the Colossians. He first of all has a list of all the wrongdoing we can get up to. And then he reminds us what we are called to be. And he says, as God's chosen ones, holy and beloved, clothe yourself with compassion, kindness, humility, meekness, and patience. Bear with one another, and anyone if they have a complaint against another, forgive each other. Just as the Lord has forgiven you, you also must forgive. And above all things, clothe yourself with love, which binds everything together in perfect harmony. Let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts, in which indeed you are called in the one body, and be thankful. Clothe yourself in love. Let's reflect on that this Lent and ask God to help us grow into that calling.